Impressive work, Marcus said, scanning through my presentation. A part of me couldn't help but swell with pride, but I masked it carefully. This was my creation, my life's work. I had poured 2 years into developing a security system that could revolutionize how we protect corporate networks. Thank you, sir, I replied. The neural network's ability to detect and adapt to new cyber threats is completely unique. With this, we could patent it in a matter of months. At 32, I had built something that could change the landscape of the cybersecurity industry forever. An artificial intelligence system capable of learning and evolving faster than any hacker, providing real-time protection for networks without the need for human intervention. The board meeting is next week, Marcus continued, leaning back in his leather chair. I want you to send me all the documentation, every line of code, every test result. I hesitated, sensing something was off. In my 5 years at TechShield Industries, I had learned to read Marcus's moods. His tone was too smooth, too practiced. Of course, sir, I replied, careful to keep my voice steady. I should be there to explain the technical aspects, though. His eyes flickered as he cut me off. That won't be necessary. I understand it well enough to present it myself. Of course he did. Over the past few months, Marcus had slowly begun taking credit for my work. It started with small things, a feature here, an innovation there, but this was different. This was the culmination of everything I had worked for. That evening, as I prepared the files Marcus had requested, a message pinged on my phone. It was from Sarah in HR. Emergency meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m., mandatory. I sat back in my chair, connecting the dots. Marcus wouldn't dare. Would he? The next morning, I walked into the conference room to find Marcus, Sarah, and 2 security guards waiting. I could feel the tension in the air. James, Marcus began, his voice a sickly sweet mask of professionalism. We've discovered some concerning behavior. Unauthorized use of company resources. Working on personal projects during company time. I stayed silent, letting him lay out his trap. I knew what was coming. Furthermore, he continued, his smile widening, you've violated your contract by developing competing technology while employed here. All your work belongs to TechShield. We'll be taking control of the project. Effective immediately. You mean you'll be taking control? I said quietly, my heart sinking. His smile grew. Pack your things. Security will escort you out. As I gathered my belongings, I could see Marcus rehearsing his victory in his office window. He thought he'd won. Thought he'd stolen 2 years of my work with a few manufactured accusations. What he didn't know was that I'd seen this coming months ago. The AI system I had built had one unique feature, one I hadn't documented. A hidden line of code buried deep within its neural pathways, designed to activate exactly 30 days after deployment. That night, I opened my laptop and accessed the hidden backup server where I had been documenting everything. Every conversation with Marcus, every stolen idea, every manipulated report, and, most importantly, every change he made to my code after taking it. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Tom in IT. He's already modified the base code, trying to make it look like his work. Just like you said he would. I smiled, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Marcus had walked right into the trap. He was so busy erasing my fingerprints from the project that he didn't realize he was actually arming the system to expose him. In 30 days, when the system went live for the board presentation, it would do exactly what I had programmed it to do. Expose every security threat, including those hiding right in the CEO's office. Over the next few weeks, I watched from a distance as Marcus prepared to unveil the revolutionary AI system. Tom kept me updated on every change, every modification Marcus made, every attempt to erase my contributions. He's completely rewriting the documentation, Tom messaged one evening, removing all traces of your name. But he doesn't understand half the architecture. He's making mistakes. Perfect. Every change Marcus made to cover his tracks only reinforced the hidden protocol I had embedded in the system's core. Like a digital immune system, it was designed to recognize and remember its original creator. Then, 20 days after my firing, I received an unexpected visitor, Sarah from HR. She stood at my apartment door, looking nervous. James, she said quickly, glancing over her shoulder. I need to tell you something about Marcus. I let her in, heart pounding with curiosity. Sarah had always been Marcus's loyal soldier, following his orders without question. This was a change. He's done this before, she said, perching on the edge of my couch. At his last company, he stole a major project, fired the developer, and when the guy tried to sue, the evidence disappeared. Just like your personnel files are disappearing now. I kept my face neutral. Why are you telling me this? Because it's wrong, she said firmly. And because I found something when I was archiving your files. She pulled out a thumb drive. Original project proposals from 2 years ago. Your proposals with timestamps and signatures. Marcus must have missed these. I took the drive, already knowing it would fit perfectly with the evidence I had been collecting. Thank you, Sarah, I said. But aren't you worried about your job? She stood up, straightening her blazer. Some things are more important than jobs, James. Besides, she added with a slight smile, I already have interviews lined up at other companies. What Marcus is doing, it's not just wrong. It's illegal. After she left, I checked my hidden server again. 10 days until activation. Marcus had scheduled the board presentation for exactly 30 days after my firing, wanting to establish ownership of the project as quickly as possible. My phone buzzed again. It was Tom. You need to see this. He's trying to patch in new security protocols, making a mess of the core functions. I logged in remotely through a secure connection that Tom had maintained. There it was, Marcus attempting to modify the AI's fundamental architecture, trying to make it look like his own work. Every clumsy change created new vulnerabilities, new gaps in the system. Gaps that would be exposed when the hidden protocol activated. 7 days before the presentation, I received another unexpected message. This time it was from Marcus himself. James, upon review, perhaps we were too hasty in terminating your position. Would you be interested in discussing a consulting role? Limited scope, of course. Marcus was getting nervous. The system wasn't behaving as he had expected. His attempts to modify the AI had triggered unpredictable results, and it was clear he couldn't understand why it wasn't working in his favor. He was scrambling, but I didn't respond. 3 days before the board meeting, Marcus tried again, this time offering a generous compensation package in exchange for my technical insights. Still, I remained silent, watching his desperation grow. Then, the day before the presentation, Tom sent me a final confirmation. Everything was set. Marcus had scheduled a company-wide system update for the following morning, with the entire board in attendance to watch the live demonstration. I smiled, appreciating the elegant simplicity of it all. Marcus had spent weeks erasing me from my own creation, not realizing that every change he made only reinforced the system's core purpose, to identify and expose security threats. And tomorrow, in front of the entire board, the AI would reveal its most significant threat of all. Thanks, Tom, I replied. Make sure you record everything tomorrow, every screen, every reaction. Then, I sat back and waited for the show to begin. The morning of the board presentation, I sat in a coffee shop across from TechShield's headquarters, watching the live feed Tom had set up. The boardroom was packed with executives, investors, and tech journalists, all gathered to witness Marcus's revolutionary breakthrough. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus began, standing proudly at the podium. Today, we unveil the future of cybersecurity, an AI system that can detect and neutralize threats in real time. I checked my watch 3 minutes until the system update went live. This technology, Marcus continued, which I have developed over the past 2 years, represents a quantum leap in network protection. Allow me to demonstrate. Tom's message popped up on my phone. Update initiating. You should see his face on screen. Marcus clicked to begin the demonstration, and the massive display behind him lit up, showing the AI's interface. Everything looked normal, exactly as he expected. Then the system spoke. Initiating security protocol. The AI's voice rang out, clear and calm, detecting unauthorized modifications to core architecture. Marcus's smile faltered slightly. This wasn't part of his script. Warning, the AI continued. Multiple security vulnerabilities detected. Source: recent unauthorized changes to base code by user Marcus Wheeler. The color drained from Marcus's face as he frantically clicked through screens, trying to stop what was happening. But every click only triggered more revelations. The display shifted, showing side-by-side comparisons of my original, elegant code versus Marcus's clumsy modifications. Timestamps of his changes, recorded meetings where he had taken credit for my work, emails where he had planned my firing. They all appeared on the screen, one after another. What you're seeing, the AI explained to the stunned audience, is a comprehensive security audit. My primary function is to identify and expose threats to system integrity. The biggest threat detected: systematic theft of intellectual property by Marcus Wheeler. Sarah's documented evidence appeared next on the screen, proof of Marcus's long history of stealing others' work. Then came the original project proposal sheet, saved with my name and timestamps, clear for all to see. Marcus's voice broke through the chaos. "Turn it off," he shouted. But the system wasn't responding to his commands. It had recognized him as a threat and locked him out. One of the board members stood up, his voice filled with disbelief. "Mr. Wheeler, what is the meaning of this?" "It's a trick," Marcus stammered. "A disgruntled ex-employee, actually." Tom's voice cut through the confusion, coming from the doorway as he walked in, holding a stack of papers. "It's exactly what the AI is designed to do: protect intellectual property and expose security threats. James Chin built this system. These are the original development logs proving his ownership." The boardroom erupted in chaos. Journalists were frantically taking notes, investors were making calls, and Marcus looked like a man watching his world collapse in real time. My phone buzzed with a message from the board chairman, Charles Montgomery. "Mr. Chun, this is Charles Montgomery. Would you be willing to meet to discuss your AI system? The real one, not the compromised version Mr. Wheeler attempted to present." I smiled, tapping out my response. "Of course, though you should know that what you saw today was the real system working exactly as designed. It protects against all security threats, including corporate espionage." By evening, news of the scandal had hit the tech blogs. I exposed corporate theft during live demo, read the headlines. 1 week later, I sat across from the board of directors, explaining my true vision for the AI system. They listened intently, especially when I spoke about its ethical protocols. How the system wasn't just designed to protect networks, but to ensure corporate transparency and accountability. After my presentation, Charles leaned forward. "We'd like to offer you a position," he said, "Chief Technology Officer with full control over your AI development. And of course, complete patent rights under your name." I accepted without hesitation, but I added one condition. Tom would head my development team, and Sarah would lead a new corporate ethics division. As for Marcus, the last I heard, he was facing multiple lawsuits, including from his previous companies, where he'd pulled similar stunts. The AI had exposed not only his theft of my work, but a pattern of intellectual property theft spanning years. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about destruction. It's about letting the truth reveal itself at exactly the right moment. Now, whenever I walk past my old office, Marcus's former office, and into my new one, I think about something my father used to say: "Intelligence without integrity is a weapon pointed in the wrong direction." Marcus thought he was stealing a weapon, but in the end, he armed it against himself. The AI system is now an industry standard, protecting not just against external threats but internal ones, too. Every time it identifies and stops corporate theft, I think about that board meeting. I think about Marcus's face when he realized the truth. He spent so much time trying to erase me from my creation that he never realized my real signature wasn't in the documentation or the code comments. It was embedded in the heart of the system itself, an unshakable commitment to exposing the truth. Sometimes, the best security system isn't just about protecting data. It's about protecting what's right.